think I got it all on. Is this... I think we're recording live.
And I think we are live.
Huzzah! Hello and welcome to the Supreme Council of the Master Geeks Lodge. My name is Bill Kelly, Hornswoggle the Great, King of Ham, Billy Bones, and many, many other titles. I am one of your council members tonight, and also I have with me... Somebody go next.
Hi, I'm Clay, Grabthar's Ham Sandwich on Discord. Phoenix Made of Clay on YouTube. I'm a cat. Meow. Check me out.
I am Jingo the Fool, the Game Master over at the Ship of Fools and soon to be other places. I'm a longtime geek and self-appointed Master Geek, and we're going to go over to Mr. Blacksmith right here next to me.
I am Rob the Blacksmith. I am a metal worker, and I am also a member of the worst kept secret society in the world.
What did you say? What did you say? Go tell it on the mountain. And tonight, episode 64, we will discuss... I've been working nights, but the job I was working at decided to cut my contract early, so...
No more Wendy's?
No more Wendy's, no more Peckham.
So
And
we
no
can
more
go
fare.
back to doing this.
Whenever
on
you
Tuesday
want.
nights.
Yeah, until I get a job. Until I get two
I think-
jobs.
Because, the Saturday is good now, but Saturdays are not overall good for me more than once a month to do this. So
That's what you were saying.
if we could get back to Tuesdays, that would be
I fully
peachy.
am supportive of this Tuesday night. I put water in my truck in the F-150, and now the F-150 is overheating.
Was it just water or water and coolant? Probably a bad thermostat.
Not much. Thermostat's been replaced, water pump's been replaced, freeze plug has been replaced. I have a new radiator, thanks to Reverend Fish Crackers. That's a bitch, installing that. So
Not something I'd want to do.
I might have to do it.
Yes, I actually
not
went to
have a
automotive
choice.
school, and the one thing I really learned at automotive school is that I don't like working on cars.
I don't like working on modern cars. I don't like working on cars past 86. I love a lot of the cars before then. I'm supposed to go up to
tinkering on
the...
older cars. Yeah,
Yeah. I'm
that
supposed
was
to...
once a passion of mine, not anymore.
It's still a passion. I got to go up to the ranch tomorrow and unload 4 Connexes, but now I'm kind of worried. Still got stuff going on over here, and now the truck is... This guy was like, hey, man, your radiator's pouring out the bottom of your truck, and it was all coming out of the cap. It's like, God damn it.
Was it a bad cap? Because that could be an overheating
It
issue.
might be. I thought I replaced the cap. And then, of course,
Well-
the third remanufactured transmission on the Ranger is acting up. Plenty of fluid. Built Ford tough. With Chevy stuff, maybe.
Well, here's a... Hopefully this
I
makes things a
love
little-
that! Please, please, please. I think we should get to, Vista Pro and get, 1,000 of them. Do they still give 500 for free? Is that still a thing? I think that's a thing. That might be a thing.
That's why I bought
That might be.
the stuff that I can print them here at the house. And they look just as bad as they were when we were going to the comic book store.
As they should.
Yep.
Valley Gamers Association. What is this, 1985? I'm going to write my name in cursive so I'm all impressive. Sorry. So, yeah, what
old
did you...
school gaming organizations.
Jingo, you came up with a good topic. What was it? I got to look.
Evil.
The new good.
Nurture versus nature in fiction, in literature, in movies, and in real life.
Okay.
Are people born evil, or are people evil because of a product of their environment, or is it both? Can it be both? Are there
Both.
some people who are just, rotten to the core, and you could tell, from early on that they were going to present as a problem? Or do you think that was entirely in reaction to their surroundings?
I think it's both in a sense that you have people that have just wrong wired brains. That they have siblings, everything's fine, they're messed up, and that's... But then there's the episode of... I know I'm going back to old school Star Trek, but there's that episode where Kirk gets beamed into the alternate universe where he's evil and Spock's evil,
yes.
and the evil Kirk comes into... And Spock makes a very valid point, and he's right. It's far more doable for a good guy to pretend... Cattail, a good guy to pretend he's evil than it is for an evil guy to pretend he's good.
True.
Because good seems to be able to mask as evil for decades. But this is my...
I don't know. I
is
think
Junior.
some of the most insidious evil can
okay.
Pass itself off as good and go undetected for years under the guise of good.
But I think it's a mutual
A real life
thing
example
where-
is Jim Jones.
Oh, good example.
When he started off, he was very charismatic. He was very outspoken, and then things went dark. But I think he was always that dark person. He just masked it behind charisma.
I think Jim Jones was one that had the tendencies, but I think it was his better living through chemistry that really made him turn that corner.
That's probably a good example that it wasn't necessarily, him being... Was he evil from the beginning, or was he just bad because he got, the power went to his head?
Because he was, if I remember correctly, he was a respected pastor. And then some things changed, but I think he also was partaking in street pharmaceutical to a certain extent. Then he got deep into some heavy things that really turned him down that corner. And
For the podcast. Okay, so one of the things that I had to say was the nature versus nurture. I was actually thinking about this the other day. So when it's on the nurture aspect, if you manipulate the situation that you're in, like as a child, to get the things that you want, and the things that you want being these psychological, emotional validation type things, then you are manipulating a situation that's going to nurture your negative aspects as well. So
you think it's self-feeding?
Oh yeah.
So the sociopathic tendency was there, and it was going to come out eventually.
Yes. And the train keeps a rolling, that they create situations that turn them into what they want to be. And they fully, I guess, envelop.
Sorry. Are you done? I don't want to... Okay. Dris to Erden is a perfect example of also what you're saying, not just the old school Star
Nurture
Trek.
versus nature.
Yes, because Drist is chaotic good and he's raised in a lawful evil society. So he can
He bucked the trend.
Well, what is he, like 75, 100 when he finally leaves?
Yeah. Well,
so
he's because elves are long lived.
He's able to endure the abuse, endure all of that stuff, put up with it, almost being killed every day for 100 years because deep down he's a good person. He's not like the rest of them. And it takes him about that long to go through the Underdark and then eventually get up to the surface where he ends up in the Forgotten Realms.
Yes. That is one example of, you would think that the Drow are evil by nature, but no, it is their society that makes them evil, because you will get somebody that bucks that trend, and somebody raised, let's say a Drow baby somehow gets raised among dwarves, a lawful good society.
Yeah.
That Drow baby is going to be raised believing, the tenets and beliefs of the dwarves, and is going to be a righteous, lawful good person. Now, let's take Tolkien on the other hand. The orcs and the goblins were created out of darkness to serve the darkness. There is no redemption.
No, unfortunately, there is not.
A goblin in D&D in the Forgotten Realms, a goblin raised among humans might be crude and vicious, but he would still learn,
No, you bring an interesting point, because you can't have orcs and goblins be right from the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, because they'll get their asses sued by the Tolkien family, the so the Drow...
Well, they'll try, but orcs and goblins are traditional folklore monsters.
True. My point being, so the story that Saruman tells, the leader of the Uruk-hai, where the goblins and the orcs were once elves, and they were brought down to the bottom, and they were turned into these evil characters, and then they were mutated and they were destroyed by these other people that
Morgoth corrupted them.
Well, no, for the Drow, it's more of Loth, the spider demon. One moment. Honestly, I think it's password. Oh, it's... I don't have my glasses.
Strange things are afoot at the Circle K.
It's me.
I hope things are okay.
Yeah, don't worry, I got it. You guys don't have to give me the Wi-Fi password. I got it.
Gretchen was aggressively chiming in the background. I believe she is all in favor of the nurture over nature. She teaches her puppy.
Gretchen did help raise Fenrir, so that is a good thing.
That's right. She helped to raise the son of Loki.
You know what? These dogs are not coming with me. You can fucking take care of them.
But Drist du Erden is a perfect example of the fact that, you can be born good in an evil society and still survive until you run away.
But and I think there is some evidence that there are some worlds where, both could possibly be true. In the real world, there are some people who I think were good at heart, but were put in a position where, when you give somebody a no-win situation, what they do next is going to be drastic. When you put somebody in a position where they have nothing left to lose, don't be surprised at what comes next.
Yeah.
For instance, the Punisher. The Punisher was not an evil guy. Is he evil now? Absolutely, because he will go out and just straight up murder people. If you chose the wrong side and the Punisher shows up, you're going to catch a bullet because you were on the wrong side.
Yeah, that is true.
What's
And
that
it's
lawful evil?
the finality of his solution that makes him evil. Now, I don't know if that necessarily makes him evil. He definitely isn't good, but evil usually is self-serving in some way. That's what makes it evil. You're doing what you're doing for yourself. A lawful evil works within the system that exists to benefit himself. Politicians. The chaotic evil just does whatever he feels if it feels like it'll benefit him. A neutral evil is the worst sort of evil because he is just out for himself and will use every resource at his disposal to make his ends.
I think there's a fine line between neutral evil and chaotic evil. Really.
The chaotic evil is unpredictable evil. It is just chaos for the sake of chaos.
I think you might be right there.
And neutral evil is pure, undistilled evil. You know, the Lochnar from the heavy metal movie was, I am the sum of all evil.
Yeah.
Neutral evil. It was not lawful evil. It was not chaotic evil. It was just evil.
Evil.
Sauron would be the same way. You know, he was powerful enough that, you know, the laws of physics worked around him. He couldn't be fully destroyed unless the ring in which he devoted a lot of his soul was also destroyed. And even the destruction of the ring didn't destroy Sauron. It just diminished him to the point where he could no longer be a threat. Mm-hmm.
The ring is the first Horcrux in...
Yes, and...
except for, what's his name? The Deathless. The Russian tale about the guy who's deathless, that cannot be killed.
Rasputin.
No. Older than that. He hid his soul inside a duck egg, inside a thing, and you need a needle. There's a needle involved in Koshake.
I don't know that tale.
Koshake the Deathless.
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, it's really old. One of those super, super old Russian fairy tales. So yeah.
I can imagine Russian fairy tales all end grimly.
It can't be very good. There's only a couple good Russian spirits too. The Domo, whatever they're called, the little hairy house spirit guys that Baba Yaga likes to capture and torture. Trying to remember the others.
Then it was cold for 9 months.
It's pretty much a Russian fairy tale. And then the dead woke up. We tried to stop them, but they just kept coming.
But the nature versus nurture. Let's take, for instance, Adolf Hitler. Do you think that he was the kind of person that, you know, if he had been more positively channeled at an early age, would have turned out different? Or do you think he was hardwired to self-destruct the way he did?
Okay. The thing about Adolf Hitler that leaves me to believe that his brain was wired for evil and destruction is there is a story in the late 1800s where a priest saves a boy from a frozen lake. The boy falls through the frozen lake and the priest jumps in the water and saves the boy. The boy was Adolf Hitler. So a near-death experience did not give him an appreciation for life. Nature versus nurture. Because I would look at a near-death experience as reset, an etch-a-sketch of focus, if you would.
Also looks like, glancing at his bio, that he was a troubled and rebellious child, and his home was not
But
very stable.
someone who was one of those God has a plan for me kind of people wouldn't they look at being saved as divine intervention? God
Possibly,
sent
yes.
this priest to save me because I have God's work to do. So I mean, not everybody. I would never, say that it would be everybody, but there are a group of people that are wired that way.
Yeah, I think with him, there are people I know who had, and I'm not going to go into specifics of who, that had a very bad childhood and grew up to be very bitter, negative, and toxic people. I don't know if they're evil with a capital E, but it was certainly
One second.
unnurtured nastiness, lowercase evil maybe.
Yeah. I tend to look at it as a spectrum on both sides, because, like you guys have pointed out, there are those who, from the physical standpoint, have a physical condition, a chemical imbalance, some kind of a physical injury to their brain that allows them or gives them the easy propensity to move into that realm. And then I think that it becomes a nurture point for those who are not completely off that spectrum, that they can be sent in one direction or the other. And
Okay.
that becomes the biggest concern. What are the driving factors? Then how are they taught to respond? How do they develop their response?
Okay. On the theory that sometimes, either your brain chemistry or your brain wiring itself is off, do you think with sufficient advances in medicine that such things could be corrected? That people with sociopathic tendencies because of a chemical imbalance or a brain defect could be helped? Because I know, there's all kinds of behavioral science and mood altering and modifying drugs out there, but I really don't think the technology is anywhere near where it could be or needs to be for actually fixing people.
I would agree with that completely. That has been the marching orders of psychology and psychiatry, well, for over a century. We can fix these people. We can go in and adjust, and we can help them with the chemical imbalances. The problem is that there is no one single set. There is no narrowly defined spectrum.
There isn't
no
a
way
fix
to
me pill.
find it.
Yeah, I have a friend. I had to discontinue association with him because he got in with some people that were doing some very bad things, and he ended up in prison himself. But at one time, he got jumped on the street by two people that were just, looking to beat somebody up, and, got his head kicked in pretty bad and kind of had some, seizures and other brain things. And for years, I watched the doctors try different things to try to help and alleviate him. And, I could tell that, this is still in its infancy. They don't really understand. And I found that a lot with medicine, is that a lot of doctors really don't understand what is going on in a specific situation. And I think sometimes don't even want to be bothered. They want to at least that's been my experience. You know, I've got some shoulder problems. I'll go somewhere and they'll take an x-ray and not really say anything and say, well, we think physical therapy will probably help at, you know, X number of dollars 3 times a week for a couple of months and rack up a bill. And well, it didn't help. And so I'm right back at square one and out a whole bunch of money. And the doctor really didn't want to, you know, make the effort to go deep. Thankfully, my regular doctor is not like that.
That's
but I think
that's been a recurrent theme, and you're right. The problem with a lot of medicine and dealing with any organic mechanism is that each organic mechanism is always unique from each and every other one, even if it is within the same grouping. So you and I sit next to each other. We're both human. We're both males. We're both the same age group. We're both going through all of that. But the circumstances and the details within you and the circumstances and details within me are significantly different enough that you cannot say with all certainty that an action taken to assist you with a problem that presents in a similar manner to how me will function this, because we don't have all the details. It's not like the guys that taught me medicine were, it's not like a carburetor. I can look at a carburetor, I can take 100 carburetors off the shelf. All the carburetors are going to be the same. They're all manufactured the same tolerances, so they're going to work. If this problem exists, this is how I fix it. Unless there's a fundamental failure in the manufacturing of that part, each of these carburetors is the same. I cannot take 100 people and sit down and say, your brain chemistry and your brain chemistry.
By the same thing, you know, you're comparing auto mechanics to medicine. And in a lot of ways, especially with modern automobiles, it's the same way. You get a symptom. Well, the most obvious symptom could be this. You know, it says it's this. But, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the problem. You know, what is your car doing? Is there one thing that can solve that? No. And just like medicine nowadays, if you don't have the newest, latest diagnostic equipment and information, you are really out of your depth. The day of the shade tree mechanic for anything newer than 1983 is done. You know, unless you have $70,000 worth of diagnostic tools in your garage, you can't do anything more than the basic maintenance on your car anymore.
Yeah, and you have to be willing to do the deep dive as well, because you watch some of these guys, you talk to some of these folks, and they'll sit there and, well, you've got 300 of these trouble codes on the car. But these trouble codes are grouped by section or by areas within the vehicle's operational standards. So I need to look in each one to find which ones can be the cascading failure, and then I have to find the root cause. On the human side, we have so many specialists. You go to your general practitioner, and your general practitioner says, well, I'm aware of these possibilities, but now I have to send you to this specialist, and this specialist, and this specialist, because now we have to try and dig deeper. But are each of these specialists willing to look and then willing to confer, to say, I found this, you found this, and if those two come together, we need to look at this third option. And that becomes, that's the promise of Star Trek, and going in, and you've got the incredibly intelligent computer system that can sit and say, okay, I found all these things, here's 10,000 possibilities, and I'm able to crawl through and say, it's one of these most likely, let's take that course of action. We don't have that capacity right now, and it's becoming rarer and rarer, it seems, to find those professionals who want to take that, for lack of a better term, that holistic approach to say, okay, you're a professional in your area, you're a professional in your area, I'm a professional in my area. Let's get together, figure out what we're dealing with. Because the process itself, governed by our insurers, is, okay, doc, you've got 5 minutes to talk to this person, figure out what to do and get them out of your office because you need to get the next person in.
So, back to the topic. by that measure, people that are hardwired to evil, do you believe that it is because of an anomaly or a chemistry imbalance in their brain that sets them off, and that, if Joseph Stalin had gotten some MAOI inhibitors when he was in puberty, maybe he would have grown up to be less of a bloodthirsty idiot?
You're hitting on a very malleable topic. Now,
Yep.
as much as I am really disappointed in the show Lost, and not for the ending, because season 3 just kind of fucking
Didn't watch it.
went 95 degrees. It wasn't even a straight angle. It was a weird angle. But Locke says something very interesting that's kind of profound. Crazy people don't realize they're crazy. They're getting sane. They're seeing the light. So with evil people, villains don't normally think, like Dr. Doom. He's saving the world. He's making it a better place. Dude,
He
you're
doesn't.
horrible.
It's not evil from his point of view.
There you go.
And I think that, I think that a lot of small e evil is comes down to tribalism. Human beings are willing to go to extremes to defend them and theirs. And
Yeah.
if you are one of the people on the receiving end of that extreme, you might think that the other side is evil, but
Yeah.
they're thinking you're evil. Look at the modern bipartisanship going on in this country.
Oh, please
The
don't.
two
bring in the
sides
modern-
banging. I'm not going to defend one side or the other.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
just
good.
showing an example
It's a
of
good
the
example.
two sides banging against each other. Each one thinks the other one is evil and awful and wants to do all these horrible things where really neither one is true. For everybody out there, the people on your side aren't all that righteous and good, and the people on the other side aren't
Not
all
that
evil
evil.
and corrupt. We're all just people trying to save our own.
Yeah.
And if people could step back and look at that bigger picture, you'd see that what this person is doing or that person is doing isn't evil. They're doing what they think they have to do to defend their loved ones based on the information they're given.
Valid point.
And that's tribalism.
Well, it's tribalism in a sense, but I will always go back to George Washington, who said it best, that political parties tear at the very fabric of our nation.
I could not agree more.
Most people do, unless they're on a tear. But with the same thing with Star Trek, we're constantly given the same examples over and over and over again, where you have these tyrannical leaders that get into power on these planets, and then they're just there's the one that's basically Time Machine from H.G. Wells, but it's another planet. So instead of the Morlocks and the Eloi, there's the people that live in the clouds, and they have opulence and all this intelligence, and then the people that are mining have faulty filters and bad mining equipment and no education, and they can't better themselves in any way because they're kind of like indentured into their careers. Even in Firefly, they do Janestown, where the Mutters are basically, they'll never get free because they're just indentured servants.
I had somewhere I was going with this. Go ahead.
Hold on.
So back to the nature versus nurture thing.
Seth.
I think as time goes on, they're going to find more and more of these sociopathies and psychopathies to be genetic anomalies in the brain. That I mean, the wonder of neurotransmitters. That gets your brain to do everything that you want it to do. But if point A and point B if something's wrong with one of those points, all the neurotransmitters in the world, you mentioned MAOI inhibitors, that's a neurotransmitter. But, if point A or point B is awry, then, the don't shoot the messenger, I guess.
So do you think it is possible at some point for science and or medicine to be able to, say, scan a brain, do a chemical analysis of a brain when somebody is very young and identify
I think
the
so.
potential for this? And, maybe in a future society like Star Trek, which is a socialist utopia. So it's
Okay.
never going to get that good, but this is what socialist utopia would be.
It would.
But yes, maybe you don't get a rise in dictators among humans because at a young age you get scanned, and if there are anomalies like that that are going to turn you into a bloodthirsty dictator, a Hitler, or let's say a raving maniac like Charles Manson, that gets fixed. Or like the Romulan Empire, the way the Romulans do things is when you're born, if you're not genetically perfect, they just put you down. So there are no blind or crippled Romulans. They don't survive childbirth. But that's,
No.
another way to do things. But I think, eventually medicine will get to the point where, we can fix these people before, but then they have to want to be fixed. Because behavioral modification on somebody that doesn't want to do it is kind of an evil thing. Or is it? That's another part of it. If you could go back and change the brain chemistry of somebody like Hitler or Mussolini, or and would you? Would it be a moral thing to go back and try to alter the personality of this person?
I don't know if you can save that person, though.
So you're thinking that some people are just, no matter what,
you're talking about Hitler.
This is the path where they're gonna. This is the path they're gonna go down.
Yeah. You may need to cut early tonight.
Hmm.
We may need to stop early tonight.
You guys got things going on?
Apparently.
Well, if we need to cut this short, this was just a,
Tuesday. Let's bank on Tuesday. Chris could probably join us. Hopefully, guys available.
Yeah, Tuesday would work better. Do we want to maybe table this and
yes,
take it up again on Tuesday night? And I understand that sometimes life is what happens while you're making other plans.
Wait, do you have to work? You have to work till like 8 on Tuesday. How about like a Monday or a Wednesday? Is that?
I don't think I have any Wednesday commitments. Mondays I can only do every other Monday.
Yeah, because I could do
Wednesdays.
the game. That's what I was saying. Okay.
Here, let me look at my calendar. I don't think
Please.
Wednesdays is one of our open days.
Oh no, we can't do Wednesdays. Rob has Masons.
Ah.
What up? Thursday?
Last Wednesday of every month, I have to be in meeting, but otherwise, I'm open.
Okay.
Yeah, unless there's I don't have any. I don't have any degree work coming up that I'm aware of.
Oh.
We can adapt and improvise and overcome.
Okay.
So, like I said, I'm open for Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't think we're just like gaming. I don't think we're going to find a time that's optimal for everybody.
No.
And if you guys can find a time that's good for you, if it's not good for me, go ahead and do it.
Well, that and Chris can make it some nights, Guy can make it some a run, and it's all just depends on who's available. But for now, I don't know. For nature and nurture, that's a big, long rabbit hole.
It is.
Very great.
See, we were discussing the evil, but there's a whole other aspect of that is good. Is good a nature that is learned, or is good something that some people are just going to be good, and there are some people that no matter how messed up the situation or their life or society is, they continue to be a ray of sunshine.
Those people are diamond in the rough.
Yes.
I lose my temper all the time. I'm no golden ray of sunshine. I'm a driver. I'm a winner. Things are going to change. I can feel it. God. Okay, start over. Etch a sketch. Keep moving. The problem is that they try to tell you that Monopoly is like the best game to learn as a kid. Monopoly sucks. I fucking hate Monopoly. It's a horrible game. The most important game is that picture you have to make with the little tiles, but you can only move one at one. That's fucking life.
Yes. Monopoly. When Monopoly was Monopoly was stolen from the original creator, and it was meant to be a satire on capitalism in the real estate game.
Really?
Yes. Monopoly is a whole other rabbit hole.
It's been past wet food time for a couple hours now. I know. Cat butt. Live from Cat Hole.
But yes, Monopoly is one of those games that if you're playing it by the rules and you're good at it, you're probably not a very good person.
I would have to agree with that.
And there are a few more gamier games like Diplomacy and Kingmaker. Diplomacy, I've seen break people out in fisticuffs. I saw somebody stand up and knock somebody else down.
Yeah, I don't want that. I'd rather play D&D where we all work together.
Yes, that's what I like about all these MMOs that come out. They all have their PvP elements. Not D&D. D&D is meant to be cooperative. So the D&D MMO, there is no PvP. And cooperative, even the game master is part of that cooperative.
I don't think I've ever been in a D&D game where somebody has tried to flip the table over, said I'm done. Yeah, where there's been just a little bit of discord, people, but it always turned out in the end.
Yeah,
I've had games where players have decided to
hate each other. Yeah, what is that all about?
Players have almost come to blows, and a few times, many times, inter-character strife, and I tend to put a stop to that real quick in a game. It's like, look, we're all here to get along. Yep. It's like, if you two want to fight each other, I'm going to get up and leave the table while you resolve whatever it is you resolve.
Down to the back alley, we'll put our phones on and record it and put you up on Facebook.
Yeah.
Pool noodles at 10 paces.
Engalled to touche, to the touch. I don't know. Like I was saying at fair for 9 weeks. Oh, did you watch the video where I forced that poor unsuspecting girl to play Dungeons & Dragons for 2 minutes?
Yes.
That poor Gary. Well, the problem is that was... We kind of talked about making the video before we made the video, where I kept asking Theo and Kim, Frenchie's daughter, Kim, I was like, hey, would you would you mind filming this so I can get a copy of it because everybody laughs, and even Frenchie pretends he doesn't like it, but really he likes it. And it's a good sales pitch, and I'm pretty good at the sales pitches. So that was fun, though. It was good, and the best. Okay, the last day, it's Sunday, very last day of fair. The wind is up, so that's good. But it's still like that melancholy, sad, I got to tell this story because you got to, hopefully, Coffee's listening. So, Tatton decides you're going on Thank you. Saffy, come here. Those dogs are not going to bother you. They're exhausted. They've had so much excitement today. So, Tatton says we're going to put you on parasols. Okay. You don't have a problem with that? Parasols, the armory, the inside, it's all one store. It doesn't really matter what I'm selling. And the parasols ended up being a benefit. I can yell out there, and I'm not blowing out Frenchie's hearing aids. And it gave me a lot more, Tatton was still micromanaging me, but he wasn't micromanaging me same way Frenchie micromanages me. They're not doing it out of anger or superiority. This is their baby, this shop. They've been there for 35 years.
This is their livelihood.
They know everybody out there. So I sold all the $30 parasols by the end of the day. Yeah! But there weren't a lot of them left because it was the end. It's the 9th weekend. It's 9 weekends now. It's just amazing.
But you sold them out of stock. That's an achievement.
I did. And I sold a lot of the 45s. And I tried to sell all the 20s, but that's kind of impossible. Same as like trying to sell all the 10s. So immediately, okay, comedy is the skeleton key of society. How can I make parasol jokes in Arizona? Shade for sale, portable shade for sale. And Tatton thought that was hilarious. And a lot of people walking by. And I shit you not, every woman I said this to, whether she was 18 or 80, I can help you defeat the sun. And they all laughed. They all laughed because women have a love-hate relationship with the sun.
Oh, yeah.
So
the sun is not your friend.
Yeah.
Neither is gravity, by the way.
No. So you're still muted. Gravity does suck. Clay says gravity sucks. We agree with him. So it's the end. And it's probably 10 minutes before that video is made. Which I wore the black. I kept wearing the bluish shirt that Beth dyed because I thought it was kind of cool. And it was slit up the middle, which when I was pouring water on me for those really hot days when it got to be 106 out there, which has never happened at fair, that really came in handy. So I go out there and I talk to the flower girl and I said, we never did the hi, my name is. Hi, I'm Bill. I hope I'm not annoying you. I'm trying to help you sell flowers. She's like, dude, you're hilarious. Because I heard her hawking for the pirate shop because I said several lines, but the one that made her laugh the most was, she's got flowers for sale if you got caught staring. It happens out here. It happens a lot. So she thought that was funny. And we talked for a little bit because I don't know her. She's a flower girl. There's like 5 or 6 of them out there. So, safe. So then I walk over and I've got all the dollar flags and Frenchie's like, stop pushing the surrender your booty flags. The lines are funny. Your bit's funny, but we're running out of booty flags and you're kind of limiting your sales. And the more I thought about what he was saying, because he watches me the whole time, it's like, you know what? He's right. I get 10 times the laugh with, sir, do you want to buy my booty for $1? But I missed the kid sales. And he was right. So, okay, humility first. We got to, I see the problem also. You're right. We must correct this problem. Your advice is sound. I will follow it. So, pirate flags $1, flag on a stick $1, flag without a stick $1, stick without a flag $1, flag on a stick $1. So I kept that going, but I didn't sell. I don't even know how many I sold the last day, but it was so hot the last 2 weekends that it just, abysmal sales. But chalk that up to the temperature. When everybody's got a mean look on their face and everybody's sweating and overheating, and something happened out at the Renaissance Festival that I have never seen since working out there on and off since 91 to 2015, and then 11-year break, and now 2026. An ambulance, and it's on I believe it's on our YouTube. I tried to, I'll make sure it's everywhere. An ambulance came out to the boathouse stage. That never fucking happens. So they came to somebody in the audience. Excuse me. We heard from a street performer that a person had a heart attack during the Dead Bob show. Now, layers of costuming or even t-shirt and jeans. They're out there drinking beer. They're out there drinking mead. And they're probably not drinking as much water as they, we always tell people, you drink enough water? You drinking enough water? So, that's
pretty much all I drink out there.
Never happens. So this is for your wife. Sunday night, very end of it. Last 20 minutes, right before we make that video. All of a sudden behind me I hear, "Excuse me, just a minute." And I turn around, and her name is Caroline, and she was lovely. Maybe 19, 18. She works for games. She has been watching me for 9 weeks because this is the first time I've talked to this child. I don't know. I only recognize her because there you are, and there's your 5 or 6 friends. I forget how many kids run the joust, and I'll point at the kids on the way out. "Last chance to hit something, my lord. $4. So I do hawk for the jousting thing, too. And, we try to hawk back and forth. So I said, "Hi, I'm Bill, by the way. I'm sorry. We never got to, we're coworkers." She says, "I'm Caroline, and I just wanted to let you know that you guys are absolutely awesome."
That's good. Sometimes it's good to hear that. That you make an influence, that you influence people like that.
So it was, all the praise I got was from women that are way too young for me, and it's all plutonic, and that's awesome. But I want your wife to understand that is my life now. That's how I think, too. There are no... Roxanne at Fry's is my girlfriend. There you go. You're my girlfriend. All I do is buy lottery tickets from her. Or like Ed said, there was a famous quote that says, the lottery, the dollar ticket lottery, is for people who don't know how to do math.
My boss says the lottery is a tax on the dumb.
It is.
And yeah, I've paid that tax many times. I like your chances of winning the lottery are slightly better if you buy a ticket.
They really are.
But only slightly better.
Somebody can bring up a topic. I need a minute. Anyway, so elliptical orbs. It's pretty much the shape of a mini universe inside the universe because they're donut-shaped universes.
There's a city in Dungeons and Dragons lore called Sigil. And it is an interdimensional city that is a nexus where all other dimensions connect. And it is a, I forget what there's an actual name for the shape, the donut-shaped curved tube. But it's a city that is shaped like that, and it's on the inside of the donut. And it's just...
It's a Terry Pratchett level weirdness.
Yes, Terry Pratchett level weirdness. The whole Planescape setting for D&D was based in there.
I posted on Bats in the Belfry Bob McCobb's workshop. It's like 2 hours. Somebody put it all together, not me, of course. Scarecrow, The Adventures of Dr. Christopher Sin. Wonderful World of Walt Disney. World of Color.
I remember Walt Disney World.
So apparently, V for Vendetta and Batman existed in 1720, where the guy was fighting English tax collectors, and he was smuggling tobacco and whiskey through the, what's it called? Hold on. A marsh. The Romney Marsh, where brandy and tobacco were brought in by night by boat from France. This is like the coolest secret society ever. Sorry, Rob, with the Masons. So, these guys dress as scarecrows to the point where they're riding their horses. They still have, like, the cross on their back through their costumes. No one but 2 people ever saw the leader of the group. And when they had to purvey a message, well, okay. What's his... Thorndike. Russell Thorndike heard about the real guy in 1720 and then crafted Reverend Dr. Professor Sin, who is the leader of the Scarecrows. So by day, he's like a vicar. You know, he's a holy man and, you know, doing the thing. But at night, he's doing smuggling stuff, and he's also doing, like, he has this vigilante group, and they all wear different scarecrow masks, and all of them have names.
Ooh,
so I'm gonna. That. It's really a Halloween thing. I'm sorry I didn't find it now. I think I saw this as a child, and I can like barely remember it on the. Because there's the one. Excuse me. There's the one. Jonathan Winters, and it's a funny Sleepy Hollow, where Jonathan Winters ends up with the pumpkin head at the end of the, and Disney did it. I don't remember the name of it. I just remember seeing it as a kid. But this one is done much earlier in like the mid 60s, because Treasure Island is their first movie. And
love every version of Treasure Island.
Treasure Island.
I've got
especially the Muppets
book downloaded onto the Kindle app on my phone.
So I finished reading, I should say, Treasure Island, and excuse me. Yes, what Paul has said was true. Back in the 90s, you know, pirates never said R. Really? No, that's a Disney American. That's you plastic patties.
That first version of Treasure Island, the one British actor that he kind of set he set the pattern for pirates to talk like that, just like John Rhys Davies made all the dwarves Scottish.
They're not Scottish.
They're not Scottish. In my D&D world, the dwarves are German. because, well, it
Or
makes
don't
more
they
sense.
yeah, don't they come from German origins? And then they kind of like
Yes.
travel because you have Tommy knockers and Cornish and
But yes, and in my D&D world, the Drow elves are the French.
oh my God, it's just a French, you know.
Yeah, the French.
I will kill all of your children.
Drought taunters.
Well, I never picked it. I always pictured them being more like Slavic or Russian or maybe even, Eastern European, where they could kind of pass as European, but it's just like a more severe language.
Yes. I thought of them as French because that's about as obnoxious an accent as you can get. Is the over the top French accent, yeah?
You swine, you big swine, I hate you. You dogs, you. Yeah, the French are. Well, the way Eddie Izzard described them, they're spiky and unpredictable. Even my family's way back French. We're Plantagenets. What? We're related to the Plantagenets. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that great? No, but explains a lot. It explains your level of evil. It's great. Why aren't you excited? Do you know the story of the Plantagenets? Do you?
The War of the Roses? Yeah, not a pretty picture.
Before that, the beginning of the leader of the Plantagenet that starts the line has sex with basically a succubus, and she bores him like several children and then flies out the window, and a bunch of people witness this in like 1211 AD or whatever.
It was that one funky batch of grapes.
It's up there with the Leeds
That
devil with
blue
Mother
mold on
Leeds
the,
and
that
yeah,
blue
the
mold
Jersey
on the
devil.
grapes was hallucinogenic.
It's got to be werewolves and it's got to be hallucinogens. But no, this I got to watch the whole thing. It's well over 2 hours, but I always love a good vigilante story of fighting the power, because basically it's not like a Batman story where he's fighting crime or V for Vendetta where he's just destroying the whole. It's more of like fighting tax collectors. He's a Robin Hood in 1720 that uses a scarecrow for a motif. I think that's kind of badass, actually. Because how many fields can you hide in and not get... There's the movie. I watched it. 30s? 40s? It's an English film. The Scarlet Pimpernel? Or the
Scarlet Pimpernel, yes.
He posed at... It's really kind of a pre-Indiana Jones. Because during the day, he's a history professor and anthropology professor. But at night, he's a vigilante that dresses in different disguises and mostly as a scarecrow to fight the oppression.
Very cool.
So, that I gotta sit down and watch the whole thing, but it looks pretty badass. I mean, to now, those that aren't artists aren't going to really love the aspect of the makeup and the masks and the costumes of the 60s, but they did the best they can. Oh, Treasure Island. So they say shiver me timbers, and one of the most popular sayings that John Silver and a lot of the other pirates say is when they want to, instead of saying like, you can take my word or something like that, and you can lay to that.
Yes.
Does that mean you can lay a dead man down to it? You can lay down and rest? Now that I'm at, what is the...
I'm not sure what the reference is.
I don't get it.
Yes. Now, you know what the origin of the term "shiver me timbers" is,
It's
right?
the masts, right?
No, a shiver when a cannonball strikes a ship. It sends little splinters of wood out in
Everywhere.
every direction from where it strikes. Those are called shivers. So shiver me timbers is when you take a cannonball hit on the ship
Ugh.
because, you know,
And he
even a
says,
cannonball that hits and doesn't
Yeah.
go through the ship will crack it and send
He says-
shivers out the backside.
he says belay that order. He says other stuff like that. But
Belay is a military term.
yeah,
Meaning a belay is actually specifically a roping, rappelling, climbing thing.
yeah,
Because if you've ever done rappelling and you're rappelling
Belaying
whoever's
pins.
on your guy line at the bottom, when they belay you, if you're rappelling and somebody pulls on the rope
Mm.
and makes the rope taut, you don't rappel. You stop because
Yeah.
of the way the D ring is tied. The Army made me rappel a few times.
they did. Well, here's okay. As an adult reading Treasure Island, because I think just after Christine moved out, I was like, I'm going to go and I'm going to read all the classics. Are they really as good as...
I love the classics.
Some of them are good, some of them are better as movies. We've already proven that, and I even talked to Reverend Fishcrackers Cliff about this. I'm a Ray Bradbury fan. I think the Martian Chronicles and the score alone, the soundtrack's fucking creepy. Something you should play at Halloween, scare the children. So, the story is interesting. Fahrenheit 451, but I love the movie Something Wicked This Way Comes, but I never read the book until I was an adult.
Well, it's only a short story, so the movie expands greatly on.
It's a
what was
thin
there.
book. It's not. You're right. It's. I don't think it's even 200 pages. It's not. It's. It's over there. So no, it might be with Finn.
I read it as part of an anthology of his
Because there's
shorter works.
Something Wicked This Way Comes, The Illustrated Man, and isn't there a third one? I think.
Probably
Maybe?
is. It's been a long time.
The-
I read
Well-
most of the classic sci-fi writers back when I was in high school.
Fair enough. The problem with The Illustrated Man, and it's really written for an early 1950s audience. So he's tattooed from head to toe. So's my neighbor. So's my roommate. So's my, it's not, my coworkers are tattooed. The thing is that the tattoos move when you're not looking at them straight on. And that's creepy. And what I loved about Jonathan Pryce is an amazing actor. Jason Robards, really honestly, everybody. It's one of the best Disney movies ever made. It's up there with The Black Hole, Rocket Man, and The Watcher in the Woods. And there's good Disney movies and there's crap Disney movies. And I'm not prepared to do that list. But as far as Something Wicked This Way Comes, you can't convince me otherwise that the movie was actually better than the book.
I think the movie. I agree because the movie was able to. Well, I think Patrick Stewart put it best when he was discussing the first X-Men movie. Is there is no such thing as a literal translation from one media to the other.
Oh, that's
if you're
good.
taking a comic book and you're going to make a movie out of the comic book, it's not going to be the same thing. It can't be because it's not the same thing, and that's pretty much universal,
Yeah.
and a lot of times there are things you can do in a movie that you really can't do it in a book because describing it isn't the same as actually seeing it. And the same goes the other way around. The book can go into a level of detail that because of the little narrative elements that, a shot in a movie just can't. I've only seen one movie that I think was a near literal translation of the book. And what was the name of that? It was a James Clavell novel. And they made the movie from the book, and it was a 2.5, nearly 3 hour movie because it literally covered every part of the book. And that made the movie too long to be interesting.
I think with reading and you're making the movie in your head, there's the same aspect of listening to a radio program. And they said to everybody, here's a picture of the cowboy on the horse from the radio program. Go ahead and color the horse. And some people colored a brown horse, some people colored a red horse, some people colored a paint, some people colored a pinto, an Appaloosa, a black horse, a white horse. So everybody kind of curtails what they're hearing to the narrative of that story. If you will.
Now, you know, Treasure Island has been done many, many times. If you've not seen it, I highly recommend Muppets Treasure Island. Because it has the best portrayal of Long John Silver.
Treasure Island, yeah, I think, even though it's a pirate story set in the late 1700s, but it's written in the mid 1800s, it teaches a lot of valuable life lessons. The Bible teaches you black and white. Treasure Island teaches you gray.
It does. Because Long John Silver, there are times when he comes across as sympathetic to Jim Hawkins, but ultimately there's another nature versus nurture Treasure Planet is another good portrayal of Treasure Island, where oh,
that game attack you were playing with me in the galley, Jim. That was one of the best scenes ever. As much as I love Tim Curry and Richard Newton, the version of Long John Silver and Treasure Planet is my favorite version of Long John Silver. Is that wrong?
It's an old family recipe. That's a bit of the old family.
Old family recipe. But
yes,
Silver is such an adaptive. He's almost chaotic. I don't know. What is he? Rob, what is Long John Silver? What alignment? Sorry,
I would say
I'll mute myself. Hold on.
I don't think he's chaotic evil because he played by the rules of the pirates. He gave
hold on.
Billy Bones the black spot.
He's got to be lawful evil, or did he give him the black spot, or was it Pew?
I think it was the crew that gave him the black spot, but he was part of it.
The interesting thing about Long John Silver is I would consider him lawful neutral or lawful evil because he uses the rules to his advantages, but he definitely follows them, but he's not opposed to breaking them also.
Now, have you seen the TV show Black Sails?
Not yet, but I've heard amazing things about it.
Oh my God, you need to see that. It is the pirate show because it blends historical pirates and the fictional pirates of Treasure Island. It's got Captain Flint and Long John Silver and Billy Bones and, Calico Jack Rackham and Blackbeard and, all of it. Very well done 2 seasons. And the Long John Silver in that one, it was an interesting story because he kind of became Long John Silver by accident. But I won't spoil it. I'll just say go watch Black Sails. It is a pirately good time.
Okay, I will. That sounds. I need to watch it. I just. Life is reset again, and you can fight it and get upset, or you can just go with the flow and try to find another 3 jobs. And, yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to. Well, I got some other stuff to do in the morning, but for Easter. But yeah, I got to go out to the ranch and unload 4 Connexes tomorrow.
Joy.
Happy
So
Easter.
do we want to go ahead and
No, we got
No.
40 minutes, so
all
we're
right,
gonna
we'll go ahead.
we're gonna pull out these 40 fucking minutes. Sorry, Clay. Long John Silver. But Captain Flint is more psychotic than Silver.
Well,
Well, hold on.
you don't really get to meet Flint in Treasure Island because Flint's dead.
Flint's dead. Here's what happens. How old is Jim Hawkins at the beginning of the book? 8, 9, 9?
I would
10?
say closer to 12.
I kind of pictured him 10, 9, 8.
He's old enough that he's almost
He's a
an adult.
pre-puber. No, I don't consider him almost an adult. He's very smart, but his narrative is that of a child. Now, he gets some valuable, hard, terrible life lessons at these ages. 30 pages in, 2 people have died, and there's already been a sword fight. A dude has a cutlass wound on his shoulder. Jim's father has died, but Jim's father dies of an illness. It's established in the beginning of the book that Jim's father is sick. Dr. Livesley comes to aid Jim's father. First, Jim's father's up and walking around. Then, about 20 pages in, Jim's father's in bed. He's too ill. And Jim and his mom are... Even back in the late 1800s, the superhero rules still exist. You have to lose a parent to become a vigilante. So, whatever mystery illness Jim's father has, it kills him in the book. So, Billy Bones is not Billy Bones' name, and Billy is this mysterious character, and he's the captain, and yo ho ho and a bottle of rum, which there's a song about that. The Jolly Rogers did it, and so did a lot of other artists, but have you noticed? Anyway, so yo ho ho and a bottle of rum, 15's meds on a dead man's chest, the derelict, that doesn't actually exist. It's like Robert, what is it? Why is a raven like a writing desk? It's supposed to be an open-ended riddle on purpose. Cattail. Check it out. $29.99 cat butt, folks. Get yours now. Download them. What is with? It's 3 days after a full moon. So, why is a raven like a writing desk and yo ho ho and a bottle of rum? 15 men on the dead man's chest. 75 left. Only 15 came back. That song doesn't exist. Much like in Repo Man, you never get to see what's in the trunk. Pulp Fiction, you never get to see what's in the briefcase. So, in the same sense, somebody later came and wrote 15 men on a dead man's chest, yo ho ho, and wrote the rest of the lyrics to a song that didn't really exist. Even, what did we talk about, that I mentioned, Breakfast Club? Where John Bender tells the joke about the dog and the salami and going into a bar. and he falls through the roof before the punchline because there is no punchline to that joke. It doesn't exist. Doesn't matter how many comedians you ask, they don't know because it doesn't exist. It's just from a movie.
Yes. It was just for that scene.
Podcast. So, what time is it? Oh, we got plenty of time. Plenty. Yeah. Salud. Slanche. Cheers. Nostrovia!
Nozdravia. Now,
Those Polish, they're nuts. Prost. What is it? Prost. That's what the Germans say.
Prost.
Prost. Come here.
So, I've read a boatload of Robert Heinlein. All right. And I'm sure you guys have seen the Starship Troopers movie. All right. And there's only a few things that are in common between the book and the movie. And the book,
Dizzy.
all of its political leanings, blah, blah. I don't care.
Dizzy.
It's a good.
Dizzy.
And right in the middle, there's like a really, it's a really poignant point where Johnny becomes a man. But the initial point that I was trying to make about this was, I read enough about Robert Heinlein and his why he started and all that, and the man realized he had a talent that was going to make him money, and he ran with it. And the thing about the movie is that knowing what I've read about him, as long as the man got a paycheck, he would have loved the movie.
now, yeah, between the only thing that I saw in common between the movie and the story was the politics were pretty much intact. Because there was a political statement. You know, agree with it or not, the same political statement was there. It was just couched around an action movie.
Well,
Yeah.
what I've heard from, I have not read Starship Troopers, and the first real, the first friend that told me all about it was Gabe Kleschult, who, Gabe, if you're watching, thank you for watching. We'll have Gabe on it. Amazing artist, great geek, definitely deserves a seat on the council. He's just super busy like the rest of us. So, it's not, like Clay was saying also, and the documentaries are saying also, it's told in a memoir, like the Dark Elf series. It's not happening live. Drist is writing all this down. This happened a long time ago. Wolfgar's dead. Cadibree's dead. Everybody's dead because he's an elf. He lives forever. But it's not like live action happening. It's the memoirs. I'm not French. I don't speak French. I probably pronounced that wrong.
Who cares? The French.
The French, you know.
The French.
But yes, Walt Disney's, what is it? The Scarecrow of Romney Marsh, 1963. And then there was a series after that. Neato.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I was born a decade later.
I hear that. Sometimes I feel like I was born in the wrong decade.
We're all out of time. I mean, not right now, but we've got half an hour. But we're all born out of time. I love puppets. Been watching them my whole life. Had puppets as toys my whole life. I love clowns.
Oh, I am
juggling.
indifferent to clowns. The missus, she doesn't like clowns.
Most people hate clowns.
So the first time we took her to the one of the haunted houses out on the west side.
Oh no.
Of course, one of the first things that happens is we're there in a crowd, and these two clowns with chainsaws
Uh-oh.
come through the crowd. And of course, they're real chainsaws with the chain removed. So they smoke and they buzz and they make all the noise of a chainsaw, but there's no chain on it.
No,
just the
never.
metal blade out there.
Right.
And so it just makes a lot of noise and looks real scary.
Yes. We never put chains on chainsaws at a haunted house. Oh my God, no, that's a health violation. You would get in so much trouble if there was a chain on the chainsaw. They never have chainsaws. Chainsaws are an Arizona thing. Other states, they're like, chainsaw? Yeah. It's terrifying out here.
It is.
Really?
Yeah. And of
Really?
course, they seem to, lock in on the people that are really freaked out. So they came over and revved their chainsaws at my wife, and it was, she was actually a good sport about it, despite absolutely hating clowns.
Gotcha. So my
She hates
first
clowns and Mary
here,
Jester.
hold on.
So my first night at the haunt, they handed me this great big fake knife. My first encounter with somebody, handed it right back to them. I knew somebody was going to get hurt, and I didn't want it on me. So
It was a fake knife.
I was
Better
born.
not to risk it.
Oh, let me unmute it.
Risk it for the biscuit.
Let me unmute it. To quote Steve Martin, I was born a poor black child. Anyway.
A sharecropper's child.
No,
Who
the
never
movie,
dreamed
the
he was
movie The Jerk.
adopted.
The movie
Yes.
The Jerk.
Was born a poor black sharecropper's child who never dreamed he was adopted.
Who never dreamed he was adopted. I love that movie so much. It's so funny. All his movies
This
are
is the
hilarious.
best pizza in a cup I've ever had.
Roxanne is great. It's a great play on Cyrano de Bergerac. Because the problem now is I have an eternal love of midgets, thanks to my father. Dwarfs, small people, little people, whatever the hell they're going to vertically challenged. I don't care. But they let Peter Dinklage play Cyrano de Bergerac. Dude, forget your
sure. I haven't
nose. You're a
seen that
midget. I mean,
Yes.
oh well.
He's a very entertaining midget. But he
Well,
isn't.
no, I'd love him in Elf, and I love him in the Game of Thrones, and what else was he in? He's in like 3 other movies that I saw where he's just happens to be a midget.
We
That
saw
happens
him-
in life. There's
he was
just
in
all
a-
of a
I
sudden a
forget
midget.
the name
It's
of the
not,
movie.
You know,
But there was a B horror movie that my wife and I watched that where these idiots at a LARPing festival accidentally summoned a real demon.
oh no.
And Peter Dinklage was in that movie, and Ryan Quanten from if you've ever watched the HBO TV series True Blood,
Great show.
awesome show. Ryan Quanten from that was also in the movie, and I forget there was somebody else that was an actual name in the movie, but it was hilarity ensued. Because of course there's a real demon, and of course the LARPers are thinking that these guys are just LARPing it.
Real demons would be a giant pain in the ass. Like I make the joke at work because they sell little fake map free demon in every bottle. Oh man, these would be a lot more than $4. Oh, I'm gonna get one for my mother-in-law and one for the next door neighbor, and my cat needs a pet. And
Free demons.
free demon in every bottle, and they just look at me. I'm like, it would be a lot more than $4 if there was a demon in there. Or I was like, you thought Peeves at Hogwarts was a pain in the ass. Wait till you get a load of this guy. But I have to say, I've been saying that for 8-9 weekends, and finally, some a group of like 20-year-olds, 20-plus-year-olds that had already been drinking. They're like, free demon in my butthole. And the other guy's like, I thought he said butthole too. Dude, this is a kid's show. No, I did not say butthole. Nobody said butthole. That came from you. Oh,
Some people.
I totally segued. The parasols. So I sold a lot of them. And then Frenchie comes over later in the day, and Tat and Frenchie are standing there, so they're like, do you like it? I'm like, honestly, this is easier than being inside. Because when I'm inside, I have to fucking work it. I got to sell those $3 eye patches. I got to shake my ass for those $4 demon in a bottles. I got to dance for the $1 shells. The stuff in there is hard to sell because it's, pirate stuff. And
Niche tchotchkes.
Thank you very much. Selling parasols to women in Arizona, fish in a barrel.
Some of the other stuff, not so much. More power to you, because
Yeah.
I am not a salesperson. I mean, I could pitch something that I really believed in, but I don't believe in enough things to be a good salesperson for them. It's just not something I'm hardwired to do. I've had sales jobs, and
Princess and the Pea. Yes.
it's not for me. I don't have the right kind of forceful personality.
Well, I'd really love doing conventions. Ren Fair taught me that because that was the first time that I really stood out front of a shop and started selling stuff. So, like even when I did a con, I can't stand behind the booth. I stand out front of the booth in the aisle, talk to people. So
That's
I'm
probably
kind of
how I would
outside.
be.
So, and I'm sorry, Taylor and Andy, telling this story, but Frenchie's like, so you like selling the parasols? I'm like, dude, this is easier than selling the stuff inside the shop, even though this stuff costs a little more. And he's like, you're the new Parasol Pete. And I just laughed. Ha ha! Arr, Parasol Pete! And the two of them, Frenchie and Tatten, started laughing. I'm like, what? You already said you like the name Hornswoggle. I've been going by that since 1989, long before the wrestler. I love the midget wrestler Hornswoggle. I did not get my name from him. I got my name from the Gary Coleman cartoon. But they're going to sue us when we become rich and famous. How long has Gary Coleman been dead? I love him. I wish to watch Different Strokes every night. And all his movies. The one where he lived in the little train, and when he shined shoes, he got the horses. Anyway, so he's like, Parasol Pete, and I just laughed. And they just looked at each other, and they're like, that name doesn't bother you? No, because that's not my nickname, and it's kind of humorous, and, I'll be Parasol Pete. That be Dancing Pete. He dances for nickels. That's what the first thing I thought. And he goes, oh, Jeff used to get so unhinged. Hey, Parasol Pete, don't you fucking call me Parasol Pete. Parasol Pete. That's the name that triggers you, that you get all upset about?
Weird.
You pride yourself by going by Pig Swill? But Parasol Pete is an insult? Anyway, I sold all the $30 one. You're Parasol Pete. Sure I am. If Parasol Pete sells the most parasols I am,
Yes.
Why would that bother you that much? What?
People
are weird.
I find it the best way to handle situations is to have no shame. Then nothing bothers you.
Okay.
You call me
I
whatever
don't mind
you want.
pissing off and irritating strangers, but I do not want to irritate and bother people in the circle. And
No, I'm I wouldn't do it to
You
provoke
accidentally
somebody, I'm
hurt
just
the
saying.
ones you love enough. You don't need to intentionally. Yeah, I'm a terrible person. What do you want from me? I'm just a human trying to crawl around on the planet being burned by the sun. Leave me alone! Oh. So, next Saturday, and even though Clay requested it off, they're making him work anyway. We're going to live stream. I know your job. Yeah, come work at your job where they're making you work anyway.
Where I don't know what the we're doing this one over at Antonio's place because he's got that clubhouse he wants us to use.
Yes.
So, yes. Don't know what the internet situation there is, but we'll figure something out. If I have to Wi-Fi hotspot it off my phone, which is very, very not optimal.
We all know here, 2 hands up. Who's not a tech guy? Me! You know. Yeah.
I am, like
Rob,
I said,
Rob
I am the tech
Blacksmith.
wizard's apprentice. I can make the mops and buckets dance, but I cannot get them to stop.
The worst thing was last year. I was at Hilton Ambridge Boxer. It's a conglomerate now. And they're like, how do you do this? And I'm like, oh, you just do that and this and this. And Dan Creech, who's a friend of mine on Facebook's like, and he's like closer to your guys' age. He's older than me. He's like, you're a computer wizard. No, I am not. I have friends that are computer wizards, and I've learned a few things. That does not make me a wizard. That makes me a charlatan with the trick.
Yeah, that's like me.
Ah.
I'm like that TV show, The Pretender.
Good show.
I can convince you I know a lot about computers, but really I don't.
Really, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Much like in life. Well, CERN keeps turning on, so we're in multiverse P now, because that's about what it feels like. There's piss everywhere. Anyway. But, most of the time, I think I have a beat on things, but I don't. That's why humility and Taoism are the greatest, because if you ask me for advice, I'll try to give it to you. And I try, but nobody's perfect. And
people ask me for advice.
I'm a dumbass.
I
What do you
try
want
not
from
to
me?
offer it if it's not asked for.
Yeah.
Free advice is worth every penny you paid.
It's free. The best 4-letter word and the best spice ever created. Free, but it's really old. Free, but it's super old. Free, I could use it as compost.
And another truth to remember is all unwanted advice is criticism. If you're giving somebody advice that they didn't ask for, you're criticizing the way they're doing it. Or whatever it is they're doing.
Yeah. Well,
which is why I try not to give advice. And
what is it?
Even if people ask me for advice, I'll say, I'm not the person that you should be asking. I'm not an expert.
On the team for the Declaration of Independence, it was Madison, Jefferson, Adams, and Franklin. And Franklin did not want to be a part of it, and they just would not leave him alone until he became a part of it. And he says, the reason that I don't want to be a part of it is because, I don't want it's one thing to be an editor and put out Poor Richard's Almanac and to put out a newspaper. It's another thing to give a governmental or a proto-governmental body a document and have them edit.
Attribute it to you.
Well, what's the phrase that Jefferson turned to Madison and he said, they have mangled my prose. That's the way Jefferson looked at it, because they just went through with a red pen and, okay, we don't like this, we don't like that, we don't like have that. And that was the first draft of the Declaration of Independence. Madison already had done it before the rest of them showed up in Philadelphia, and he based it on the Virginia Declaration of Independence, basically. So Jefferson and Adams and Franklin, they come into not so much red pen it, but, dude, you should add this. Dude, this will be much better if you make this sentence this way. Oh, fuck yeah, you're right. Let's do that. Because to them, Jefferson, it was a working team. To Hancock and especially, what's his name? Give me liberty or give me death. He's basically the antagonist of the whole group. Because they're like this, and he's like, fuck no. And he's like, dude, we can't have, what's his name? Is it Irving? No, it's not Payne. Payne's an Englishman. God damn it. Hold on. My brain, I'm so tired. I've been up since 4 a.m. Actually, before 4.
I want to say Henry?
You're probably right. I think it's Henry.
Patrick Henry?
On the nose. Well done. Patrick Henry was the biggest problem because Patrick Henry wanted both worlds. He wanted us to be independent from England, but he wanted the states and the territories to govern themselves. You can't do that. You're all together now. Like Franklin said, surely we will hang separately or together. If this goes the wrong way, we will hang. And he was right. They had to leave because King George III was after him. You can't just be like, we're going to make our own government when you owe another government a whole bunch of money.
Yeah, no, they tend to not like that.
And Madison, well, not so much Madison, because he's from, Madison and Jefferson have a very interesting relationship because they're kind of, well, Dickensian lawyers. The jackal and the lion is essentially, that's an unfair comparison, but it's kind of similar because Jefferson he has a high-pitched, soft voice. He doesn't project very well. He's a violin player, not a singer. He doesn't like giving public speeches. He does not like standing up in front of a large group and talking to people. That was agony for him as the president. Where Madison doesn't give in to small talk. He's all business. Unless you've got really dirty jokes, then you have his full attention. So he's kind of Reagan in a way where he can give the speech, sound awesome. He's a short little guy that's very intelligent, so people listen to him right away. He's Jefferson's partner, so he gets all of that praise. Because remember, Madison's the 4th president, Jefferson's the 3rd. Jefferson hands the presidency to the man that he feels is the most qualified, Madison. And as we've learned from how DC and Marvel were compared through history by history buffs and history people with degrees. I don't have a degree in anything. I was working towards an AA there, and I wanted to be a writer, so I wanted to be an English teacher, but it turns out I'm really bad at spelling and grammar and sentence structure and, well, all of that shit. But I'm really good at history, and I have an absolute passion for history, and all my life people keep telling me, you should have been my history teacher. You should have been my history teacher.
I've been told many times, you should have been a teacher. Bro, you should have. You're a really good teacher. You should teach.
You are a good teacher, just for the record. Among the council. But yeah, you should have been. So I kind of, talked to as many people as I possibly could because you've got to get the knowledge to be able to write. That's why writers write the best books when they're in their 50s, not when they're in their teens, their 20s.
Now they have experience to draw on.
You got plenty of passion in your 20s, but really no experience. Life hasn't bent you over the railing yet and had its way with you.
Yeah, I've got 3 nearly fully realized novel ideas. One actually is multiple novels that I need to actually sit down and hammer out.
Yeah.
I've got a sci-fi novel and a couple of different
stories
horror
keep
novels.
coming. I just stopped writing them down decades ago because
I just use
there's no point.
the medium of RPGs to tell my stories now. Which means that, they're never permanently written down. They just remain in the memories of the people that played through them.
Yeah. That's a thing. Memories are a thing. Well, I started playing D&D at 9. I'm going to be 54 in May, and I'm not going to stop anytime soon. Ed has no idea where we're going on next Saturday, and he has all kinds of concern. But he's all fired up and wants to bring desserts. I love Ed so much.
I started playing D&D at 14, and now I am 60. So
Now I am 92.
So I've been,
excuse me.
over 4 decades of it. And probably not going to stop. And my wife is thankful because, I could still have drinking as a hobby like I did when I was young. It's a lot more expensive and a lot more destructive. That being said, have we decided on the next stream? Do we want to try to do it Tuesday?
Thursday?
But I know
Tuesday?
that there are people that are not going to be able to do it if we do it on Tuesday. And I
Clay
know there are people that are not going to be able to do it if we do it on Wednesday. I could do it on Mondays, but not this Monday.
And
this
then,
coming Monday
Chris
is...
that's fine because Chris works on Sunday and Monday. I don't know what he's doing tonight, but it's fine. Burning bright.
But,
Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the jungle of the night.
yeah, it's like tiger jokes going around since Tiger Woods was in the news recently. A lion would never drive drunk, but Tiger would.
Ooh! Oh my God. That was good.
There was there was another one that I'd heard. Can't remember it. But I do have since we're very nearly at the end,
We're getting close.
I have a pun that I heard from my wife that is just awesome, and so I'm going to suffer you guys with it. Did you hear about the guy who dipped his balls in glitter?
No. What happened?
Pretty nuts, huh?
Okay. I heard the worst pirate joke ever created while I was selling parasols from a customer dressed as a pirate. How did the lady pirate leave the ship? This is so terrible. Why, she used her parasol. Oh man. Why don't pirates bathe? Because they all get washed up on shore.
I know a pirate joke, but it's a little bit longer one.
Go for it. We're telling pirate
This
jokes.
pirate captain, he's out in his pirate ship, first day with the new crew, and he's sailing along, and he hears from the crow's nest, "British man of war off the port bow!" And so the pirate captain turns to his mate and says, "Mate, fetch me red shirt from my cabin." and the British come, and there's blood and musket balls and cannon fire and blades, and when the dust clears, the pirates are still standing. They have won the fight. A couple days later, call from the crow's nest. 2 British man-of-war off the port bow. And again the pirate captain turns to his mate and says, "Mate, fetch me my red shirt." And the battle was long, and the battle was bloody, and it looked dire. But at the end of the day, the pirates had won. And the first mate said, "Captain, what is with this red? Is it magical? Tell me about why the red shirt?"
Why the red shirt?
And the captain is like, "Oh, the red shirt's easy. You see, when I wear the red shirt, if I get hurt, you can't see me bleed. The men think I'm immortal, and they fight like demons. Haven't lost a battle yet." Really? All of a sudden, from the crow's nest, you hear, 10 men of war off the port bow.
Oh, no.
And the captain turns to his mate and says, "Mate, fetch me my red shirt and my brown pants."
Good one.
All right, I got one more.
Oh, I've got a lot more. Keep going.
Pirate walks into a bar. He's got a big ship's wheel sticking out of his breeches. Bartender says, "Hey, do you know you got a big ship's wheel sticking out of your breeches?" And the pirate says, "Aye, it's driving me nuts."
What's a pirate's favorite socks? Why, Argyle, of course. How do pirates solve their disputes? Through parlay and arbitration. I told these for 9 weekend. 9. Oh, it's Saturday and I'm still telling them. Why do pirates exist? Because they just are. Oh, man.
This pirate captain, looking for a new job, goes in for an interview, and he's got the whole 9 yards. He's got a peg leg. He's got a hook for a hand. He's got an eye patch. I mean, he's the complete package, and he sits in there, and the interviewer's like, "So, pirate captain, huh? Tell me about your peg leg." He's like, "It was my first voyage, and a cannonball hit the rail, and the shivers took me leg off at the knee. That's how I got me peg leg." Like, interesting.
Huh.
Tell me about the hook. The hook. We was being boarded by the Spaniards, and the Spanish captain took the hook off, took my hand off at the wrist with his cutlass. That's how I got me hook. It's like, wow. Well, so tell me about the eye patch. He's like, I come out on the deck one morning, and up in the rigging was a beautiful white seagull. And as I looked up at him, he dropped whitewash in my eye. And that put your eye out? He's like, no, it was the first day after I got me hooked.
That was good. Wish you had told me that one in the beginning of February. Oh, that was good. Well, oh, crap. One just escaped my memory. A real bad one. Oh, why don't pirates ever finish the alphabet? Because they all get lost at sea. What's a pirate's favorite fast food chain? Well, you think it would be Arby's, but it's actually Long John Silver's. Oh, the Hush Puppies. Really good. It's terrible. Terrible.
All right.
Best bad Dungeons and Dragons jokes. You ready?
Oh,
how do you know when a necromancer's a nerd?
I don't.
He still lives with his mummy. Why don't were-bats ever fly during a really bad storm? Because all the clouds have silver linings. Oh. Why is it a bad idea to fight a zombie centaur? You're just beating a dead horse, partner. Last one. Worst one. Why does everybody love hit points? Because they're the life of the party.
Okay, that one I like.
I love
And
that
on
one
that
so
note,
much.
I think we
wanna
have
do
come
the
to the end of the
closing?
show. I do. For all of you out there watching this craziness, like and subscribe to Hornswoggle the Great and the Ship of Fools and the Supreme Council of Master Geeks Lodge on YouTube. That's where you'll find us. That's where this will be in a matter of days.
Oh, give me a minute. Yeah, I'll upload every. It takes me about a couple hours to it. Clay, do you have any plugs? I have none right now. But Rob the Blacksmith, you want to jump in with St. Mary's Food Bank? Or Mason's or cigar shops?
I think we might have lost him.
I heard him for a second. He's dog wrestling. That's the problem.
Probably.
Probably.
Anyways,
You know what?
you
I
can.
probably will.
Hold on,
If
let me mute.
Rob going to talk about St. Mary's Food Bank, I'll talk about one of the organizations that works with St. Mary's Food Bank, and that's the Phoenix Rescue Mission. It's turning lives around. It's a long-term shelter, and I live there as well. It helped turn my life around, and I just want to, if you got some extra dollars to spend, kick it their way. St. Mary's Food Bank as well. And there's Rob, so I'll let him take over about St. Mary's Food Bank. All right.
Whoa, what is that? What is that? Oh, yes. Please, Rob, say the thing. Are you muted?
Drew?
He is.
You're muted. We
Rob,
can barely hear
we
you.
cannot hear you.
First it was me, now it's you. Yeah, that button, the little mute switch was like halfway. Weird.
Technical difficulties. All right, and then
Damn it.
I'm going to go ahead and
St. Mary's Food Bank for Rob, the Masons. Anybody else?
yes,
Splash right.
for me myself, coming up in May, 1st and 3rd Saturday of every month at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be debuting over on the Real Women of Gaming channel, Deadlands Hell Hath No Fury,
Ooh.
a live stream RPG.
Okay.
And I will get links and definitely be bringing some goodies to the stream next time. We'll talk a little bit of Deadlands. There, on my stream, the lovely Miss Martian Cat gave a Real Woman of Gaming shout out. Please like, subscribe to them. They're a good group of people. They frequently do streams for charity causes. We've got one coming up later this month on the 25th is a charity weekend. And I'll see what I can do about digging up more details about that. But until then, all of you out there, all of you master geeks out there, stay geeky. And look for us to pop up again soon. Where and when, we don't know, because time be hard, yo. And we're all so busy adulting that we can't get our adulting on the same page.
I've been adult for decades now, and I'm still terrible at it. So I don't know what to tell you.
All right. Well, let's get out of here. For those of you that observe, have a happy Easter Sunday or Monday for those people in Europe that celebrate it there. And have a good night.
And Passover happened. And thank you very much. Gentlemen, as always a pleasure.
Good night, everybody.
Again.
Good night. Good night.
Viewing.
Absolutely. Hold on.
All right.
1 second.
Good deal.
Thank you. Thank you. Hold
Like
on.
I said, when you guys decide where and when you want to do the next one, if I can get in, I can. But
Okay.
don't let my
Hold on.
inability to participate stop you from doing your thing. It exists.